Hello and welcome. This is Michelle with PaperStampInk. Thanks for stopping by my channel today, where you'll receive tips, techniques, and tutorials to inspire you in your own paper crafting projects. If that sounds like something that you would like, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. I appreciate your support. And then tap that bell, and that's going to give you notifications whenever I post new projects on YouTube. So today I'm going to talk about simple to stepped up cards. There we go. And we're going to do show three different. We're going to do the simple version together, and this one is great if you're just starting out or you're looking to make a lot of cards quickly. Now, Stampin' Up! Is talking a lot about simple stamping lately, and that's kind of getting back to the basics and realizing what beautiful cards we can create without all the layers and embellishments, and those things are great and fun, but there's a time and place for the simple stamping too. So please don't feel like you have to have everything to make creative cards. So this is the first version, and then this is the stepped up version where I added some of these frosted flowers and rhinestones in there, and I did this color this one in with the second layer of the stamp. This is a two-step stamp set we'll be using. I'll get to that in just a moment. And then this is our final card, and I did add a few more flowers. I added one with a glue dot here on the knot of the bow, and then I added a layer using the coordinating punch with this set and mounting that on some dimensionals to give make that pop off the card a little bit more. So you can create beautiful cards with the simple Stampin', and then you can step them up as you want to make it a little bit more special or as you have more products. So let's go ahead and get started with what our paper, stamped, and ink are today. So I am enjoying playing around with our retiring colors. Now, these are still going to be around till June, so they're not retiring just yet. Don't worry. But Stampin' Up! Has 5 ink colors they bring in every year, and they stick around for 2 years. So I'm playing with the 17-19 colors, and those will be retiring in June, and we'll get a whole new set of 5 more exciting colors. So let me show you the ones that are retiring really quickly here, just so you know if they're ones that you enjoy. Make sure you stock up on that paper, and especially the ink refills. They are starting to run low on some of those, so don't wait too long. Once they're out, they are out on some of these items. So Berry Burst, Fresh Fig, Powder Pink, Lemon Lime Twist, and Tranquil Tide. Those are the 17-19 colors. We're not going to be using all of those today, but those are the ones that are going to be retiring here. So let's start with our Fresh Fig base. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 to create our standard size base. And I'm going to go ahead and I didn't give that a nice score so it lays a little flatter. And then I've got a piece of Berry Burst that is 3 inches by 5 1/4. And then I have 2 pieces of the Whisper White regular. This one is 2 3/4 by 5. And actually, we're not going to use this Berry Burst on the first card because we're doing the simple one. But that's the Berry Burst is a layer that I added on the second card. And then I have a piece of Whisper White for the inside that is 4 by 5 1/4, because we definitely are going to want to do a matting on the inside of this card stock. It's very dark color, so it'd be hard to write on unless you had like a gel pen or something that you were using that was maybe a metallic or white. And we're going to want to dress up that inside piece too. For the stamp set, I'm using Butterfly Gala. And this is it's a beautiful 2-step stamp set, but you don't have to use both of the steps. So I'm using this butterfly here, and I'm choosing to not color it in on our simple stamping. I'm just going to use this image, but they do all come with these pieces that you can use to layer and to stamp in the backgrounds. And they are two separate ones. So you can do a different color on the top and one on the bottom. Now these all come as a set of two, and they line up perfectly with the punch that coordinates. So when you stamp these, that punch is going to line up perfectly. Now I like to have a little bit more options when I get my stamps, so I choose to cut mine apart. So here is this one that we're using, and then here's the smaller one. Now if I ever want to put them both together again, it's really easy. I'm just going to line those up there, and I have my stamp set back together. I choose to do this on some of my stamps, some of my sentiments. Just be careful when you are doing that you're not cutting into your image, but these were really easy, just a couple snips to separate those out. So there's just a little tip for you on that. And then we're going to use the sentiments, hello beautiful, on the outside, and then the good things in life are better with you on the inside. And I love this builder on these butterflies because we get a large body and antenna and a small little body and antenna there, and 4 different patterns to pick from. So if you like to color, whether it's with Stampin' Blends, Stampin' Right markers, watercolor pencils, whichever medium is your choice, these are great because look at all the detail. Look at, you could really have fun coloring those all in, those little pieces separately. So that's the stamp set we're using. And I'm going to be using for this card, the Berry Burst and the Memento Tuxedo Black. So those are the 2 colors that I'm going to be using for this one. And then we do have a few embellishments, just one for our simple stamping card. And let me pull some, it's a little hard to see this white on white. And this is the polka dot tulle ribbon, and this is beautiful. This is kind of my go-to quite often. If I'm going, I'm not sure what ribbon to put on, or do I have anything that coordinates, this is what I will pull out. And you can color this ribbon as well, so you can make it match your projects. So it's a great option to have that. And then the other ones I used on our stepped up versions, I used the frosted flowers, and I used some of the Stampin' Rhinestones. So that is all of our papers. Let's go ahead and get to stamping. Now I do have a piece of the quarter size grid paper that's made for our stamp positioning tool, but of course you don't have to use it just for that. I think it's perfect for fitting on the piercing mat. Because these are photopolymer, I am going to use a Stampin' or piercing mat because it's going to give me that cushioning that's going to get me a little bit better image. Now normally I have my stamp pads on the table and stamp, but I've noticed that it's a little wobbly lately. So I'm going to just pick this up, and sorry if that's off camera, but I'm just tapping there to get some ink on, and I don't want to be jiggling this camera around too much and making you guys have a headache from wobbling around. So I'm just going to place this one kind of off to the right, but in the middle. And let's go ahead and come in and build up our butterfly. Now, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, that this end is a little bit wider. It's kind of got a very slight bulb at the top there, and that is our where the head for this butterfly is. And I don't know why, for some reason I have to turn this. I can line it up better that way, but whatever works for you. And I will say that when I use the punch, I've found that it works much better for me if I punch first and then I put the body on. Let's come in with the antenna and add those in. And our sentiment, our hello beautiful sentiment. And we're just going to put that right below here. There we go. And while I've got this berry burst out, let's go ahead and do the inside of the card. I'm going to use that sentiment, the good things in life are better with you. And I did get a little bit of ink on that. If you see, I got a little a little bit aggressive with my inking, and so I've got some ink on this. I'm just going to go ahead and take a baby wipe and wipe that off so I don't get that on my card. Now you may have noticed that these, oops, still got a little bit more there. You may have noticed that these stamps are stained with the red, and that's pretty common with the photopolymer with the red inks. They do tend to stain, but that does not affect the stamping on your photopolymer stamp. So don't worry about that. It's not gonna ruin that image. And then I'm gonna go ahead and let me use this block that I had the antenna on. And I'm gonna use the small butterfly, and we're just gonna come in here and let's do 3 little butterflies down in the corner. And you know, I don't even think I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna leave those and just come in with the antenna because those are so small. You know what? I'm gonna do that off camera so you don't have to wait for me to do that. We'll try and keep this video pretty short, but I like it just like that actually even. So I may just not even finish those butterflies off. They're so small. I think they're cute just the way they are. So let's bring our other piece back in. Let me close up this berry burst so that I don't get that ink all over the place. I do a good enough job on my own sometimes of getting that ink everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and clean off my stamps, and we're going to come in and use those same butterfly images and pieces with the Memento black. So we want to get them nice and cleaned off, and let me actually spritz. I've got my Stampin' chamois, and that would be, just need to moisten that up. This is great for cleaning off your stamps, especially those ones that have a lot of detail in there. And I'm just going to get in there and make sure we get all of that ink off of our butterfly pieces, and I'll come back and take care of those sentiments when we're done here. All right, inky fingers. We'll try and keep those off the project. I don't know, I've just been playing around in my in my Stampin' room today, and I don't know why, I've just been a little bit messy. Been having a lot of problem with inky fingers. Not sure what I've got going on today, but let's go ahead and bring this butterfly in, and I am going to twist and turn with that Memento pad because it's a firmer pad and I can do that, and I just like to make sure that I've got it very well inked. And we're going to come in here and we're going to do a few images, and I am going to go off the page or off that piece of paper. That's why I've got this grid paper behind. And that way I'm not getting ink on my piercing mat or on my table. I like the look when it's going off the edge. I think it's gives it a little bit, looks a little bit more like your designer series paper. You know, you don't come just exactly right to the edge of things and stop. So we're going to do this one here, and there we go. I think that that's as good for the number we're going to fit on there. And then let's go ahead and we're going to do these bodies. And put these in here. And one more, that one up at the top. We wouldn't be able to see the body because it's just part of the wing coming through. So there we go, and some antenna. And then we are almost done with this card. Oops, I got some of that Memento ink there. I'm telling you, I've just been a messy stamper. Anybody else a messy stamper sometimes? I think we all have those those days where just seem to get inky fingers, but hey, that means we're having fun, right? And there we go. All right, let's assemble our card. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to use my Tombow Mono Multi glue. This is my adhesive of choice. If you've been watching me, you know this is my go-to for card making, and I'm just going to come and I'm going to line that up. I love that it gives me some wiggle room, and I'm just putting that with an even matting around the edge. Let's go ahead and get our inside piece. And then we just need to put some of that beautiful polka dot tulle. And I'm going to wrap this all the way around. I do want to make sure that I've got that flat on the inside. I don't have it twisted and end up with a kink. And I'm going to bring in my scissors that I use for cutting ribbon. I have paper scissors, and then I have ribbon cutting scissors. So find that it keeps them from getting as dull in the ribbons. Having a nice sharp pair just for those will definitely give you a better cut on the edges. The ribbon just seems to fray sometimes if I don't have a good pair of scissors. Well, I cut that really long, so I'm going to come in here and trim that down. I just tied a knot. You could tie a bow if you want to. I just found that it was quick and easy to tie that knot. And let's slide that over a little. You could slide this knot up or down. If you can't get your ribbon to lay the way you want it to, go ahead and take a glue dot and stick under there. And if you haven't seen this tool, this is my favorite new product. This is the Take a Pick tool, and it's got this great piercing tool. It's wonderful for getting those glue dots, sticking them under there. I used it for picking up some of my embellishments, like these rhinestones. You just get right up there under that, oops, under that adhesive. And of course, it's not going to work for me right now. There we go. And then I can just place that wherever I want to on my card. It does have another end on here, a spatula end. That's also good for getting up underneath things. You can use it for your glue dots as well. If you need to reposition something, wonderful for that. Not that any of you guys have ever put something down and wanted to move it or got it in the wrong place. I'm probably the only one, right? And then it's got, this end is a putty, and it is a little sticky, and you can use this for picking up sequins or small pieces of paper, and it's just going to stick those. Can you hear that? Sticky. It's going to adhere to those, and then you can place them so much easier than trying to get those with your fingernails, and we're dropping them, and they're going all over. And this even comes with a refill, so you get 2 of these ends, and just $10. So I just think this is a steal, this tool, and if you don't have one, highly recommend adding it to your supplies in your craft room. So there we go. There's our simple, our stepped up 1 and our stepped up 2 cards. I hope that you found this helpful. If you're looking for any of the products that I showed today, you can purchase those in my online store 24/7. If you don't have a demonstrator, I sure would love the chance to earn your business. And don't forget about Sale-A-Bration going on through the end of this month, where you can earn free items for every $50 that you spend at Stampin' Up. So have a great day, create something, and share it with someone you love.